Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world.
This week we are still in Matram and on our way to a festival called Perang Topat. This festival is not well known, but should be. It's also called the Rice Throwing Festival, and what a nice surprise. It's a must-see cultural experience where we end up sitting with the governor of Matram.
Perang Topat is celebrated in Lombok at the Pura Lungsa temple, where Sasak Muslims and Balinese Hindus share the temple complex to practice their religion. The festival takes place towards the end of November and beginning of December each year. There wasn't much online available to read about it, but what we thought we were going to see was a rice-throwing food fight.
But we couldn't have been more wrong. The festival is all about the tolerance between people with different religions. The rice throwing between religions symbolizes a friendly war, opposed to a war where rocks are thrown at each other. It is celebrated over a couple of days, with the last day being the main event, and no entry fee for tourists are charged. The locals wear their best religiously inspired outfits.
Upon arrival, it looked like a South African market, with food stalls and families sitting next to the water, laughing and listening to music. People were selling balloons and sweets for children. There was Hindu dances that were being enjoyed and some music groups practicing for the main event.
One of the organizers approached us and asked us if we wanted to sit in the VIP tent to enjoy the main show from there, which would start at 4. We were given snacks and introduced to the crowd by the MC before they welcomed the governor. There were only 8 foreigners between the welcoming locals. Once everybody was welcomed and seated, it was time for some stage performances. When the dances finished, offerings were taken into the temple by the locals and they walked past the VIP tent towards the northern part of the complex.
It was incredible to see how beautiful the people were dressed and how much food was being taken into the temple. In between was music groups playing music followed by more offerings. And I don't want to give the wrong number, but it must have been hundreds of plates of food coming past, from fruits to cooked meats, even fried food. The offerings are carried 3 times around an ancient Sasak shrine and then blessed by the temple priests.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan selamat sore. Kami ucapkan selamat datang di acara dan upacara Perang Topat kembali tanggal 20 November 2023. Sektor ekonomi dan pariwisata Indonesia terus meningkat. Dan ya, sampaikan bahwa sebagai warga baru dari Perang Topat.
We finally spot the rice balls, or known here as the topat. The topat is a diamond-shaped parcel of rice wrapped in woven coconut tree leaves and boiled. A delicious delicacy.
You could see some of the children sharing our sentiment after listening to a number of bands playing loud music simultaneously for the last 40 minutes or so. At the end of the ritual, the governor threw the first plate of rice balls into the crowd, and this initiated chaos, with rice balls flying all over the place. There was definitely more people than rice balls. Locals believe that the Topat will bring blessings, and we saw that many people were trying to find fallen Topat after it had been thrown at each other. Farmers also believe planting this rice in their fields will increase the fertility of their crops.
Bapak Bupati dari Patangan juga hadir, dan tentu Ibu Bupati Lombok Barat sudah dengan.
After things settled down a bit, the kids went back to their miniature amusement park rides, and we got back to our scooters, ready for dinner and bed.
We made a quick fuel stop before the long and uncomfortable way back to Giligaday, with all our groceries and supplies strapped to our backs and 1.5 hours ride ahead of us. We are back on the boat and it's a super nice evening, and it's time for a beer tasting and then a braai afterwards. We found some very nice steaks in a shop in Matram, so we're inviting our friends over tonight and having a beer and a braai. Tonight I'm tasting another kura kura. It's a lager this time. These are brewed in barley. And it is a bit more crafty, so these are a little bit more expensive as well. Well, actually a lot more expensive. In the shops they are about 45,000 Indonesian rupee, so almost double the bintangs, but you don't see them often. And yeah, it's 4.9% alcohol, 330 ml cans. I haven't seen a bottle in these, so I like it because it's super recyclable, especially in Indo. Let's see how this one tastes. You can see it's a nice, crispy, clear lager, but they also say it should be more like a Pilsner in terms of the bitterness. So yeah, really nice tasting lager. I must say, compared to the mass brewed ones, this is definitely the best lager / Pilsner I've tasted here. The cost is obviously a bit of a downside, but yeah, it's so nice. The taste is so nice and refreshing that I'll have to give this one an 8 out of 10. So yeah, cheers.
Thank you for joining us with this rice throwing festival. Next episode, Gerard's head gets stuck in the engine compartment for most of it. If you liked this week's episode, please remember to give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. A special thank you to our Patreons. See you again!